Here we are again at Go Live Studios in the mid of Las Vegas. This show is called Full Tilt Vegas. Sorry about the delay. We had technical difficulties. Okay, I'm going to talk about a little bit about blackjack, Keno, and poker. Whatever knowledge I have on these three games. Okay, on some of my other shows, I did talk about some things on blackjack, but I want to let everybody know that in a 6-deck shoe, the average of getting blackjack is 1 in 21 hands. You should remember that because blackjack's 21. It's 1 in 21 hands. So if you're at a game, table game, and it could be you, it could be the dealer. It's an average. 1 in 21 hands, blackjack will come up. That's just the average. The other thing is on blackjack, what you want to look for is I want to look for a table when it says the dealer must stand on all 17s. If you can find that downtown, they might have that. That table is 0.22% more in your favor, but that doesn't mean you're going to win. But more likely, it's more in your favor. You have a chance of winning whatever hand you have because the dealer can't take another hit. They have to stand on all 17s. Now, if the table says dealer must hit on all 17s or soft 17, that's 0.66%. So it's a lot higher. But that doesn't mean the dealer is going to win. But the percentages they're higher. They're going to, even if you have a stiff hand, 2 through 16, and you want to stand, or you have 17, 18, 19, even if you have 20 and the dealer has 17, they have to take a hit because all they need is an ace, 2, 3, and a 4. They had a 4, they got 21. So you want to look for a table that says the dealer has to stand on all 17s. Now, the other thing on blackjack, in the United States, there's about 8,000 tables just in the United States. And those tables make about $200,000 a year. So you can see the money that they're making. On some of my other shows, you can go over when I talk about blackjack. And the only thing I didn't have, I think I did have the 17, soft 17, hard 18. Now the other thing, I got a question again on this. The ratios of blackjack. Okay, in a single deck, when that's why they offer it. Go downtown because they're probably playing 3-2. Here on Strip, they're paying 6-5, which I think is wrong. But if you're playing a single deck on blackjack, the ratios are 33, they're not going to have it, and 16, they're going to have it. 2 decks is 69-32. That means they're not 69, they're not going to have it. 6 decks is 213-96, that they're not going to have it. And 8 decks, it's 285-128, that they're not going to have it. So that's why they offer it. They're offering it not to help you, it's for them. So if you're playing, when you play blackjack, just say no. Even money and blackjack, just say no. Because also if you have $10, you have to put up half that. If you have $50, you have to put up 25. It has to be half. So just don't do it. In the long run, you'll make out more because you'll see a lot of times the dealer don't have it. Now, some people think by playing a single deck that you're probably going to have blackjack, or don't forget the dealer might have blackjack. But because the ratio is 2-to-1 with the cards, that means for every face card, this is a 10. This is a 10. The king. It doesn't matter. It's a 10 value card. For every 10 value card in a single deck, there are 2 small cards. So the ratio is 2-to-1. 1 large, 10 value, and face value cards. For every 2, there's 1. So when you add those up in a single deck, you should have 4 cards left over that are small cards. And when you get into card counting, that's very important because you'll know the ratios. So it's 2-1 with 4 left over, which is a 2.25% in a single deck. Okay, now I'm going to go into Keno. Okay, I do play Keno. It's but there's a way to play it. Okay, and I've been doing this for years. Now I'm here in Vegas, so I did leave. I was going through the Four Queens, and I said, you know what? Let me play Keno. So what I do, this is what I do. Okay, I only play 3 numbers. Okay, we all want to win 100 grand. Okay, in the long run, it's not going to happen. If you pick 10 numbers, the average, you only get 2 of those numbers. That's the average. Out of 10, you're going to hit 2. So you keep playing, and you think you're going to retire, make a lot of money. In the long run, it's not going to happen. So what I tell people when they want to play roulette, never played before, I say, people got it backwards. They want to say the game is 25 cents, okay, and they want to pick 10 numbers or 8 numbers for 25 cents. They're probably not. They'd be lucky if they hit 2 of those numbers or 1. Okay, if it's $1, it's the same thing. The denomination has nothing to do with it. It depends where you go. If they're offering for 25 cents, now when you sit at the bar, you can find Keno, and you can play Keno for 25 cents. But a lot of the live games are $1. So even if you play $1 on Keno, and I'm going to pick 10 numbers, maybe I'll hit 8, 7. You know what? It's not going to happen. So I tell people, you got it backwards. It's not $1, 10 numbers, 8 numbers, 6 numbers. It's 25 cents or $1 backwards. Instead of 10 numbers, I always play 3 numbers. I looked at 3 numbers out of looking at 2 numbers and 4 numbers. 4 numbers is close. But the best way that I win more often is I play 3 numbers. And what I'm going to tell you about that is I play 3 numbers, and I'm going to tell you my numbers. It's 3, 11, and 21, okay? 3 is my favorite number, and when I first started watching Keno years ago, I noticed 11, 21 were coming up a lot. So I said, well, let me keep those 2. So what you do when you play Keno, it's the reverse. It's less numbers, more money. So this ticket I have here, I have a ticket. I got 3, 11, 21. I don't know what came out. I guess the games are over because it's 2 hours old. The way I played this, you can play 2 different ways. I played the 3 numbers for $1, 20 games. So I got 20 games, 20 chances to hit those 3 numbers in those 20 games. Okay. If you hit one of the numbers out of 3, you get $1. Okay. No, you have to hit 2 of those numbers to hit $1. Okay. So I played $20, 20 games. So if I just hit one of the games, it pays $42. So I already got my money back. I got 20 chances to hit $42 20 times. Now, it's probably not going to happen, more likely, but I might hit 2 of them. When I was here, it was 5 months ago, I hit it twice. I won $86 because I hit twice, and then I hit 2 numbers. So it was 84, 85, 86. Oh, I hit 1 time 2 numbers. So I got my money back. Now, the other way of playing that, what you do is you take, I mean, you're probably not going to do this. I mean, if somebody wants to spend a little less, take $100. Because when you come to Las Vegas, where do you spend your $100? Crap table, blackjack, 3-card poker, roulette? How fast that $100 go? Okay, so what you do is you take 3 numbers. I say 3 numbers. You can do what you want, but it's better playing 3. The average of hitting 3 numbers out of 80 is a lot higher than you trying to hit 8 numbers. Okay, so what you do is you take $100 and you take the 3 numbers, whatever numbers you want. And the other thing is 3, 11, 21. I never change them, no matter what. I do not change my numbers. I've been playing these numbers for probably 15 years. I don't change them. I keep them. They're always the same. That way, when they're going to eventually come up. So I'm just waiting for them to come up. So so $10. You play it, those three numbers, at $10. In other words, if $1 pays $42, and I hit it for $10, I win 420. It's almost like I'm doing a segment next week on horse racing, and it's kind of like the same thing. 10 times you have, 5 times you have, 8 times. So you'll win $420, and that's using $10, and then you got 9 more times. What if you hit it twice, 3 numbers? Believe me, it happened, because I was at Boulder Station one time. I was getting comped. I was sitting next to this lady. She says she's getting 8 comps, and I said, you can't do that. What do you mean 8 comps? She said, yeah, I have 8 people coming in. They're all going to have dinner on me. And I told her, you can't do that. Usually a casino only does usually comps unless you're winning a ton of money. You only comp you 2 or 4. She goes, yeah, I won 50 grand. Go around the corner, you see my picture there. She won 50,000 on slots. So that's why the 8 people were coming. But I was sitting there talking to her about my Keno, that I hit Keno last night. And we were watching the Keno while we were having our breakfast. It came up, my numbers came up 3 times within 5 minutes. And they had it's called a bullseye round. The last number, 21, it hit the bullseye. That means it pays double. So, I mean, that's a house offer. A lot of them don't do that unless you start playing Keno that the casino divides, where you can actually pay a little more for it. Don't do that. That's like progressive. You don't want to be once you start getting anything progressive, it's harder to hit. And that's why you see all these giant jackpots and oh, that guy over there won 100,000. Yeah, how long has he been playing for? Like 50 years? He probably got his interest back. And then they don't tell you about the other 200,000 people that lost, and all they did was give him their money. So don't get into this guy's winning that guy won that. Don't play your game. Be smart. Play your game. Play your game smart. I use Keno just to mess around with, but it's fun because if I hit my 3 numbers, I beat them. So now remember, that's one time. $10 means I hit it 10 times for $1, $420. What if I hit it twice? That's $840. But I mean, I'm just hoping to hit it once. If I hit it once, I won $420, and now I made $320 profit. Because you got to look at how much money you're actually going to go gamble anyway. I mean, you don't have to do $100. You can do it for $5 a game. You can do it for $3 a game, but you'll hit it 3 times instead of 1 time. But you can do what I did here. I played $20. I got 20 games. All I got to hit it 1 time, 3 numbers. I'm probably going to hit it. More likely out of these, I'm probably going to hit it because I've been hitting it for $20. But so far, I only hit twice. I mean, hit it within that. Now, I mean, if I would have played this back then, I would have hit it 3 times and hit the bullseye. Okay, the other thing about Keno, once you start playing, that's regular Keno. So what you want to do when you play Keno, just play regular Keno. Once you start playing Caveman Keno, what's the other one? There's another Keno. I see them on the machines. Once you start doing that, it's called a progressive Keno. They're harder to hit. I played around with the Caveman Keno is because I won playing regular Keno. So I switched to Caveman Keno, and it's funny because I hit it that night. I played it. I hit it twice, the bonus. But yeah, it paid me 5 times. I go, wow, how can I give it so much money? Because I hit the bonus. But anytime you start playing anything progressive, it's harder to hit. So you got to remember that. So what I would do, what I tell people when they gamble, we all want to make a lot of. We all want to hit the big one. We all want to win. Oh, look, I won 14 grand. We all want to do that. But you know what? Is it going to happen? How much money are you going to spend and actually one of these years hit that? Would you get your interest back or half your money back? What I tell people when they play any of these games, blackjack, craps, roulette, horse racing, which next week you'll see that one, Keno, what you want to do is you want to play the game and try to see if you can beat the game by playing either using ratios or by playing it smart. Like in Keno, don't play 10 numbers, 8 numbers, 5. Yeah, there's probably people out, oh, yeah, this guy don't know what he's talking about. I hit 5 numbers like twice last year. Yeah, but in between that or in the other years, would you win? I mean, you play the way you want, but try this. Pick 3 numbers, any 3 numbers, but you got to keep them. Don't start changing them and add. Then, oh, you know what? Let me add one. Don't do that. Just play 3 numbers. Just try it, and see if you hit it. You'll notice more often you're going to hit 3 than you are 4 or 5. You'll notice that. Okay. There was a. Yeah, I did tell you that. The average of 10 numbers, you're probably going to hit 2, and that actually Keno is 29.53%. That's what the casino makes. So you can see all the money they're making. There was a guy. Even if I could remember his name, I'm not going to say it if I knew it because I'm trying to get in trouble. There was a guy that I'm just going to say he lived in Vegas. I'm not going to tell you what he did because that's, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, you probably know who it is. There was a guy that lived here in Vegas, and he knew how to manipulate. Well, he was a computer freak, and he took all the numbers that are the average that come up. You can go on the internet and look this up. The numbers on Keno, that a lot of numbers come up. Like I noticed in Super Lotto in California, I know it's 26 for the bonus. That comes up a lot, 26. But in Keno, he got all the top numbers that come up, the average, and he crunched them. He crunched all these numbers on his computer. It took him a long time. Then he did an algorithm. And what he did is he picked all those numbers and he did all these sequence. And he ended up getting a buddy. Okay, he got, because he really couldn't go in the casino. He got a buddy, and he had an earphone, and he was in his room, and they were going back and forth what numbers to play. So he played them, and I think he hit, like, sometimes he was hitting 4, he hit 5, 6, and they kept playing, and he started adjusting the algorithms of the computer. And what happened? They hit it. Okay. The problem is you hitting. I wish I would have had that number. Hitting 10 numbers out of when you pick 10, you hit 10 numbers. I don't know what it was. Like it was a million, something, 14 million or something. Excuse me. So what happened is the guy went up to the front and gave him the wrong ID. Because he checked in with a different ID. So they pulled him aside and they said, well, we're going to check this out. Well, the guy that was giving them the numbers, they found out he was in the room. And he was already well known. That's how they got caught. But that's a story I'm going to tell you that I know that happened. That really happened in Las Vegas. And so, you know, hitting 10 numbers. Or even 8 numbers. I mean, it happens. I saw a guy hit 8 numbers one time on the machine. But look at this guy, how genius he was, and the algorithms and all the adjustments he did just to hit the 10. You can show you how hard it is to hit. So if you want to play Keno, just play 3 numbers. Just try it. Just try it and see if you hit it. Okay, that's Keno. Okay, now I want to go into poker. If you guys got any questions on these, you can give me a call. Okay, poker. I when the Rio used to have, when the Rio was, what was it, 5 years ago, 7 years ago? Well, even though they still have it, because I used to frequent Harris Corporation a lot. I used to get all my rooms comp. I would get everything comp. So I got invited to 5 tournaments. Each tournament was each consecutive 5 years. I got invited because I had a lot of comps and I play there. So they let me in a tournament for free. So out of those 5 tournaments, I was in the money in 3 of them. And and I can't. One of them I can't remember how many people, but one of them was 2,800 people. I came in 16th place, and then there was another one was 875. I came in 26th place, and I can't remember the other one, but I was playing some really experienced people, but the reason why I did so well in poker is because when I first played, I used to call it's called chasing. When you have a, say you have a 3 and a 4 and a 5. Well, shit, I might get it straight. Let me see what's going to come out. If they're tossing the antes out there, or you have to somebody raises, you have to keep buying in to stay in the game, and then all of a sudden you don't catch it. Oh well, that might be called. You can't do that. Stop doing that. It's called chasing. What I learned watching World Series of Poker, I watched that for 5 years, and at night the money game, I picked up so much stuff for the way they played because I paid attention, the way they played and how they bought in, what position they were in. If there was antes or the small blind, big blind, I watched that. And then the commentators, which is sometimes it was Negreanu or the magician. There was another guy named, I haven't seen, I met the guy in person. He's like 6'6", Phil. It's not Ivy, not Helmuth. It's Phil. I can't remember his name. Anyway. He made a living at poker, and he was commentating too. And I listened to all three of those guys. And the one I learned the most from was Danny Negreanu. If you're ever interested in poker, I suggest you get the book from Danny Negreanu. I think that guy's got the greatest etiquette at the table. He's real nice, win or lose, and he congratulates everybody. He don't throw chairs and starts calling people an idiot. He's to me, he's there's a lot of good players, but I think he's all around. And he has all the numbers in his head, like I do my roulette, blackjack, and craps. I know all the ratios, percentages, and all. He has them all. So does the magician, but Daniel Grinder, man, sometimes he tell you what you got. You got an ace king, huh? Or you got a 3-4 suited. He knows. He's been playing so many years. Okay, so I picked up a lot of stuff from that, and then Negreanu, and my whole poker flipped. My whole game flipped. I stopped chasing. Start learning a little bit about the actual percentages on poker. Like if you have a flop, no, you have a set. Say you have 2 7s, and then all of a sudden you whatever, you buy in or big blind or small, whatever, and then all of a sudden you're waiting for the flop, and you have a pair. Okay. The average person that has a pair is 1 in 3. That's the average, 1 in 3. So if you have a table that's 9 people, there's a possibility 3 of you have a pair. Okay, so so that's the average. So if you have 2 7s and the flop comes out and you hit another 7, that's 1 in 8.5. That's going to happen. 1 in 8.5. That's going to happen. So if you should go on, if you don't buy Negreanu's book, because I don't know if he talks about all that, but you go on the internet and see all that. Now, if you get a, let me see, if you get, that's trips. That's if you hit trips. Okay, no, that's if you hit a pair. That's if you pair. Now, if you have a pair and you're waiting for the flop and trips come out, that's 1 in 47. Let me see. I have a note here. I want to make sure that's right. 1 in 74. That's going to happen. So that's the 1 in 47. You're going to hit trips. So you can see when somebody has a pair, and somebody's playing with it, and they have a pair, and all of a sudden they might see something come out. Maybe there might be two 7s. You got 1 7. You have 2 4s. And it came out 7-7-4, and you have a 4, you could be off 4, 10. Now the guy's got a pair, but you don't know if the guy's got trips. That happened to me before. I was playing one time, and I had pocket 6s. And what pocket 6s are, and make sure for people who don't know, this is really hard to hit too. This one, This is called American Airlines or Pocket Rockets. But I had that's a pair. I had 2 6s, and I had a spade, and I don't know if it was a heart. So a few people stayed in, and the guy next to me, him, and I think it was the guy across, and there was another guy over there. Guess what the flop was? It was they were all spade. They were all spades. They were all spades. So I had one spade, and then I had what was it? 3. So, but the guy next to me, as soon as people saw that, if anybody plays poker on the flop, 3 spades, a lot of people they go, oh no, and some don't even have it. They might have a heart and a diamond, so they're already leery about that. You only need one to have a flush. So what happened is they all went out except for this guy next to me. So and then as a matter of fact, I think it was and the next card was a 6. So now I had trips, and I go, well, I got trips but there's 3 spades out there, and then I think I bet, and then he bet really quick. And that's the other thing. Sometimes you want to slow play it. He bet really quick, and I looked at the guy next to me. You think he's got it? You think he's got a flush? And the guy goes, I don't know. What do you think? And I go, I got a really good hand. So I told him, oh, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I think he has it. So I go, you know what? I don't want to give up my trips because that means he had pocket spades. So he already had it on the flop. He had it's called the nuts. He already had it. So I gave it up. I told him, would you show me if I give this up? Because I got a really good hand. And he looked at me and goes, yeah, because he wanted to win. This was a good pot. So I threw over my 6. I had trips, and he threw over the 2 pocket spades. So he had me no matter what. So unless I hit another 6, but now I'm trying to remember what that's a crazy odd. That one's, as a matter of fact, you know what? I might have that. Because I brought a few notes. 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind. No, I better not say it because I don't know if this is true. This says 4,165. So this is just the way you play poker. You should learn all the hands. Even if this is an ace and 8, that means you have high card. It's called high card, ace and an 8. Now, if you have was it ace heart? If you have 2 cards like this, this is called a 9 deuce offsuit. That means the suit's not the same. It's got to be all hearts, diamonds, clubs. So it depends. And now that depends a lot because what you probably need to learn, which I had to end up learning, your pocket pair is so important. Now, if you have let's just say a 2 heart, 2, then you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's 1 card. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 5 cards that you have. You can make possibly a straight or a flush. So if you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, you're not going to hit a straight and you're not going to hit a flush because, oh, well, you could hit it on the 5th card. No, you can't hit it. So you want to throw your hand away because it's so far from hitting a straight and a flush. So let me see. The other card would be, now the other thing is about poker. A lot of people think ace king is you got the nuts. That's not true. An ace king is only a good starting hand. It's a very good starting hand. Doesn't mean you're going to win. Now, there's people that slow play this. There's people that play this. It depends what game they're in and what position they're in. That's very important. The main thing about poker is the position you're in. So let's say you're let me see, you're the first one to act. and you got all these people that still haven't played yet. So if you have ace king, you probably want to slow play them because there's no money in the pot. It's just small blind and big blind. If it's $5 and $10, $15 in there. You don't want to say, oh, I'm all in and win $15. So what you do is you can slow play them because you're in first position. And then once it starts going, you'll start to say who's going to bet. So if somebody has a pair, they're probably going to bet that. If somebody has a suited, they're called suited connectors. And a suited connector is a 3 and a 4. They're 3-4 and they're both spades. That's called a suited connector. These are really good hands. Danny Negreanu plays this a lot. 5-6, 5-6 suited connector, 7-8 connector, and it also plays 7-8, 9-8 off because you can a lot of times join up with a straight. So so it depends. One of the main thing is that I'm telling you, it's your position. So once everybody's in, say you got 4 people that bought it out of 9, so you got money in the pot. So now, say the flop. Now you got to remember something. Now, if somebody has pocket kings, and then the flop comes up, and you see ace king, and you have an ace. Let's say you have an ace 10. Now you're thinking, oh, I got aces, but you don't know that guy. Remember, the average is 1 in 3. He has pocket kings. Now he's got trips. So now he's going to slow play those kings. Yeah, more he should. It depends. It depends on the position and how many people are in it, because he's afraid somebody's going to catch up. So sometimes they want to win the pot right now. So so the guy with the aces, ace and ace on the flop, and this guy's got trip kings, he's more likely going to slow play those kings. So say the next card. Okay, so he's got pocket kings and he's got trip kings. Say a 10 and a 5 came up. Okay, he got trips. Okay, say the next card comes and it's I said a 10, right? So now he's got a full boat. So now he's got king, king, and then a 10 and a 5, and a 10 comes up. He's got a full boat. So you're not going to beat him. I don't care if you get the aces are no good no more. Excuse me, I have a small cold. So you gotta look at your position where you're at and with your pocket hand. Your pocket pair are so important. Like if I have, it depends. If I have pocket sixes and if I'm first position, first to bet, if the small blind is, let's say the small blind, the big blind is $20. I'm going to buy him for the $20 because I'll take a chance for $20 that I'm going to hit trips. So I'll do that. Now, say I got pocket sixes and I'm small blind. Let's just say small blind, or it could be next to the small blind. Okay, I got pocket sixes, but you don't know what they got. Say that'd be number. I'll be number 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so all of a sudden this guy bets, and then the next guy calls him, and then this guy raises, and then it goes to the next guy. That guy re-raises. You know what you're gonna do with your sixes? You're gonna throw them away. Even if you have, you can have tens, jacks. Throw those away. Jacks are probably, talked to a lot of poker professionals. They said that's one of the worst, because that happened to me. One time it helped me, but I didn't end up winning. But I got kicked out of the game. Matter of fact, I went out 16th place because of jacks. I had a real guy, had trips, so I got beat by full boat. But yeah, so you'll throw those sixes away. Even if you have tens, you'll probably throw them away because you have to understand something. Look at all the people that bet. Called, raised, re-raised, and they might have been slow playing kings and aces. You don't know that. These the first two, and then so throw your sixes away, and then because it's going to come back around to them, and they're going to what happens if they say they call the last raise, or what if they say I'm all in? Then you know what? When you went in with those sixes, you're more likely you're screwed. So That's the other thing you have to look out about poker: the position you're in and your first two cards. That's very important. If it's off, if it's not going to hit a straight, don't play those cards. My game totally turned around when I stopped chasing. Now there's another poker. If you've never played poker and you want to get in a cash game, there's called 2-4, 4-8. There's 3-6. In other words, the small blind's $3 and the big blind's $6. So what happens is they have rules. Whatever pot, I don't care if you get aces or kings. You can't on those games. You can't go all in, and then you have to wait. So everybody has to go around, and the only way you can raise it is somebody has to raise your original, say the big blind, and they raise. Say it's 10. Small blind's $5. Big blind's $10. He has to. If this guy says I raise the $10 and goes in 10. So no, I think on 2-4, 3-6, it has to be double. So he has to go set 10, 20. So once it goes at 20, and then it starts going around the table, they all have to say I call with 20, I call with 20. It has to go all the way around. Okay, that's the flop. On the turn, there's a rule for that. You have to wait. You have to call. If this guy last raise he call, you have to call that. You can't go any higher. You have to wait till the next guy next to you says I raise. Then it starts going up. So if you have pocket aces or kings, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing with them. And at that time, all these people have been catching up. They are more likely they're going to get straight. So, but you can play you can buy it for $100 and play a 2-4 game. It's $2, and then when you don't like your pair, you can just muck them. It's called mucking. You can muck them, and you can just sit there and watch everybody and watch how they're playing. Watch your face. That's what I call it, poker face. Watch the way they're playing and what position they're in, and how they're betting, and or if they're mucking their cards. The other thing you can do is, I did this one time. I was in a game with a bunch of guys out there who were all Phil Hellmuth, and what I did was I was actually getting pretty good cards. I was getting let me see. I waited because you don't want to do this. You don't want to even if you have a good pair or a bad pair. Even if you don't have a pair, don't do this. You don't want to play these cards. Don't get your cards and look at them and throw them in the muck real quick. If you keep doing that, there's a way around that. If you keep doing that, more likely people know you're not going to play bad cards. So what I did one time is I had my cards weren't that great, but what I did was I made sure people were watching me because they watch you. They want to see what your first reaction is to your cards. So I looked at them and I threw them away, and it kept going around. And I looked at them. I said, I'm not going to play these. So I threw them away. I didn't think about it. So I threw them away real quick. I did that like 7 times, and I thought about it. I did it on purpose to throw them away that quick. So what happened was I ended up getting a 7 deuce, which is the worst hand in poker. I got a 7 deuce, and that was off. A 7 deuce. Yeah. Let me just use it. Oh, here we go. I got a 7 deuce off. This is the worst hand in poker. 7 deuce off. What I did was now a lot of professionals when they do that, when they were doing their cash game, they were using this and saying anybody's got a 7 deuce and pretend they're aces, and if they beat everybody and they throw them over and everybody sees they had 7 deuce and they got burned, everybody had to pay them $1,000. So what I did was I said I waited those 7 hands. I threw my cards away really fast. So guess what? I got 7 deuce off, and I go, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play these like they're aces. So what I did is I looked at them and I raised my eyebrow on purpose because they saw me just mucky, and I raised my eyebrow, and then I put them down and I capped it. Some people have you can put a dollar, a silver dollar. Some people have some type of a logo. You see it on professional poker, Fossil Man. So I put it on there. So right away, all those players were going, oh crap, this guy's got something. He's got something. So start playing. This guy next to me, I guess he wasn't paying attention. He called, and then that guy mucked, that guy mucked, that guy mucked, and this guy mucked, and then position, what was it, 6? He I guess he had a good hand. I don't know what he had, but anyway, then this guy mucked and he mucked. So I had 4 players. So when the flop came, I was the first. Excuse me, I was the first to act, and I go. I think it was it was a money game and cash game. So I go. I'm gonna bet 100, and I think I had $600 on me. I'm gonna bet 100 on my chips. So I bet 100, and these 2 guys went out, and let me see, 4, and this guy stared at me for a long time, and then he finally went out. That guy over there was the one thinking about calling me. I guess he had a good hand, and he goes, he stared at a long time. He's looking at me, and he bought in for the 100, and then the next time, the next card, I still had shit. I go, I'm all in. And it's the way I said it. I here comes the I think it was I don't know if it was a turn, and I go, I'm all in, just like that. I didn't even hesitate. I go, I'm all in, and the guy looked at me, and then he mucked his cards, and I know he had a good hand, and then I go like this, here you go, guys, and I threw him down, and all those guys at the table go, what the hell? You had shit. I go, yep. I said, sorry guys, it's called poker. So that's called, you can do that slow playing or slow playing crap cards, but it's the way I was betting the last 7 hands that they saw me mucking real quick. And so they knew when I did the 8th hand, when I went like this, they knew I had a good hand, and that's because I was bluffing. It's called bluffing. I was bluffing them. Now, let me see. Let me see if I can find one more royal flush. Now I can see this. It's 1 in 649,740 to hit a royal flush. That's crazy. Straight flush is 1 in 72,193. Hitting. Now I don't know this full house. I don't know about this. Yeah, I guess it's true. A full house. It's 1 in 694 to hit a full house. Now, the easier the hands, of course, they're easy to come up. Now, hitting a straight, which is really easy in poker, it happens a lot, especially if you're playing 2-4, 4-8, 3-6 game. That's 1 in 255 hands. You're going to do that. Now, what you got to learn when you learn poker, you need to learn the poker hands. So you have it doesn't matter. It's called high card. So ace and a 4. That's called, if it's this, it's called the high card in that hand, which is your pocket pair. Now, if it's a 9 and deuce, that's what it is. It's deuce 9, high card's 9. That's your hard card. So and then the other one, of course, I should have spread all these out. The other one is which is a pair. That's good. And I told you it's 1 in 3, a pair. So if you have a pair, and then these are now this is a low pair, okay? This is a low pair. So if you have 2 deuces, that's a low pair. Now if somebody has let me use a higher card. Let me use 9s. If somebody has 9s, that's another pair. That's their pair, and it's a high pair. But the one thing about that is, so right now, his 9s beat your deuces. Okay, but it depends. Now, if you know what the ratios are, like I said, 1 in 3, you have a pair. Okay, his 9s, right? And you have deuces. Okay, guess what happens on the flop? Okay, say it comes a king 4 deuce. Now, guess what? Even though he has 9s are higher than your pocket 2s, you have trips. So you stay in the game because now this hand beats his hand. Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to hit a 9 maybe on the 4th Street. Okay? He could, but it's up to you. It's the way they act, the position they're in is how they act according to what's been going on. If you see a lot of professionals, like Legrand, my favorite, he'll look, if a guy's over here playing a certain hand and he's looking at the board and he goes, that looks like a crappy board. And he goes, how can he be playing this? Now, he either could be bluffing or he has something. So what he's doing, he's calculating it. He's calculating his first, he covered the big blind. Say it's $25. He played. He put in $25. Okay. So, and then the next hand, somebody raised it and it went to 100, and he played that. Okay. And so that's the flop. So, and then the 4th Street, he stayed in, and now he's all the way to the river. Okay, he's rivered out. Daniel Grano hasn't said anything yet. So he's thinking, well, what could this guy have when he kept, he kept buying in. I mean, he kept putting in the money for the bet. He kept doing it. And so what has he got? But he's analyzing everything. He analyzes everything, and that's what you got to do. You got to analyze, what did he do? Did he slow call before the flop? Did he slow call on the flop? Did he bet the flop quick and then slow played the 4th Street and river? That's what you got to analyze. You got to analyze and remember. That's why you got to remember. You got to remember each person you're playing, how they played their hand, what position they were in. That's very important. Believe me, your poker game will totally flip. You just wouldn't believe it. That's what happened to me. It just totally changed everything for me. That's why out of 5 tournaments that I was in here, I was in the money in 3 of them. And I was playing some guys that were, God, some of these guys were, I don't know, 60, 80 years old. The way they act at the table, you can tell these guys were playing for decades. And some of them, in a tournament, I was hearing where they were from, Texas, Alabama, places that they play a lot of poker. So these guys were very seasoned. The only reason that I actually beat the last guy on the table, I actually beat him. He was watching me like a hawk, but I knew he was watching me. So I was taking my time. Then I would muck quick, take my time, slow play, think. I would pause and think. What does he have? Can I beat him? What happens? Because the next bet, I might have to bet 2 more times. And I'm thinking, am I get it? Could I get it? What is the percentage of hitting it? And that's what you got to learn. What is the percentage actually me hitting it? Because of all the cards that you see coming out. So, but anyway, he tried to fake me out. He went all in. I called him and I beat him. I can't remember what I had, but I beat him. So I won $250. So I the first round I won. So everybody that goes to the next round, they win $250, and there was 9 people per table, and there was I don't know, there was like that's the other thing. There must have been say 30 tables, but that was session 1. So there was 3 more sessions. So there must have been 90 tables. So 90 tables times 9 people. That's how many people were in that tournament. So I beat him, so I won 120. And then I went to the next round, and that was it. Some lady, which I've seen this too. There was 2 people in my life that done this because they scare everybody. Because nobody wants to go out in the first of the tournament. She goes, I'm all in. So I go, and the first time she got cards, she goes, I'm all in. So I mucked my cards. Everybody mucked their cards because nobody wants to go out. They want to see what they can do, how much money they can make, how far they can go. She got her next 2 pocket cards. She goes, I'm all in. Just like that. I'm all in. She did it 3 times in a row. And I go, okay, the 3rd time I go, and I looked at the guy, he was shaking his head. And the next time, I said, let's see if she does again. Because if I get good cards, I'm going to play them. She didn't do it. So she was trying to, what she was doing, she was getting the small blind and big blind. That's what she was doing. I think that tournament, if I can remember, we had to put in an ante. So if the small blind's 25 and big blind's 50, they were making everybody put in $25. So those are money in the pot. So, excuse me. And there was another tournament That was one of the big ones I was in, 2,800 people. There was a guy that did the same thing. He did it 4 times in a row. And you could see everybody at the table looking at each other. And they already knew what after the 3rd time, they knew what he was doing. But he did it 4 times in a row. He ended up collecting like $1,500 already. And nobody's played a hand. So that's another way of playing, but be careful. Because even if you have a good hand, somebody might come up with a better hand. So, like I said, if you're ever interested in poker, Danny Negreanu, I think that guy to me is the best. To me, Doyle Brunson's good all the years, Dolly, and then you have the magician. But Danny Negreanu to me is great etiquette. Smiles at you, thanks you, leaves the table happy with a happy face. It's fantastic. Okay, what do we got, Aaron? 5 minutes? No, that clock's wrong. Anyway, oh, wow, I forgot I was going to do this. I guess I got 5 minutes. I can do this real quick. Slot machines. Okay, when you go into a casino and it says 98% payback, 99% payback, what that means is the life of the machine. That doesn't mean when you're sitting down. That means the life of the machine. So remember that. That machine might last 20 years. Okay, the other thing is a lot of people get mad. You remember back in the olden days when it wasn't, it was an old hopper. They said the hopper gets heavy, it dumps. That wasn't true. Anyway, you notice when people don't want to get off because they put so much money in the machine and they go, oh, it's getting hit, it's got to hit. I know, I could feel it. I can't leave. All my money's in there. There's 3-4 people behind you watching. When's this guy going to get off? And then all of a sudden he has no more money. He's got to go to the bathroom or he just quits. And somebody jumps on there and all of a sudden they hit it, I don't know, say the next 4 pulls. And that guy's all pissed off because, you warmed the machine up over now. That's not what happened. These machines run 1,000 series per second. 1,000 series per second. So if you're playing a machine and you're playing, and then that machine's going to hit that because that series is coming up at that time per reel, whatever reel it is, 3 reels, 4 reels, 5 reels, that sequence was to hit on those reels at that time. So if a cocktail waitress comes over and says, oh, you want a drink, and you stop, they could have hit that series right there. If you stop and light a cigarette or the phone rings and you start talking to somebody, that series, you might have lost the jackpot. All those machines, no matter 24/7, they don't turn them on. They're on 24/7. If you're standing in a row of 10 and 10 machines, you could be talking to somebody. One of those machines might be hitting a huge jackpot or a progressive, but you don't know that because you weren't playing it at that time. So if you ever see a slot machine that has 3 reels, and it's say the sevens, and then there's another machine behind you and it has 3 reels, and say those are 3 bells. Okay, that because it's a 3 wheel, you can actually take that chip out of the sevens and put it in the bells, because it's a 3 reel machine. So all those chips work in a 3 reel. It has to work in a 4 reel and a 5 reel. That's what those chips do. So when people are playing, they think that I was playing and all of a sudden the machine hit. I should have stayed there. It has nothing to do with it. There was a guy when I lived here. He was playing Megabucks, and he was playing Megabucks $3. I think that's when it was just $3. I think, what was it, 5 now? $3. And he kept playing, and he told his wife, I have to go to the bathroom. And he kept playing, and all these people were, he had to go to the bathroom. So anyway, he told her, stay here, don't leave, don't let nobody play this machine. And he went to the restroom, and he came back, and there was a huge crowd around the Megabucks. And she hit Megabucks, but she only put one, I think it was $5. She put one $5 in, and if she would have put the other 2 10 more bucks, they would have hit Megabucks. I think it was 9 million. So he got so pissed off, he cold cocked her and went to jail, because but that really happened here. The other story, there was a college kid was meeting his buddies at the Rio, and they were late. So he was standing near the Megabucks machine, waiting for him to show up, And he said, screw it, whatever. He put, I know for a fact that was $3 because this was in the newspaper. When I lived here, you hear who's hitting what. He put $3, didn't hit nothing. $3, he didn't hit his ninth dollar. He had megabucks. He won $11 million. You think he went to college after that? Maybe he changed his major. I don't know. But you remember something. When people are playing slot machines and you see somebody win a pretty good jackpot, think about how long did they play? How many in the whole casino? How many people actually are winning? That one guy won. That doesn't mean you're going to go play that machine. You're going to win. And the other thing the casino does is when somebody wins a pretty good jackpot, you notice nobody shows up for like 5 minutes, and the machines keep ringing and ringing because they want to see all the customers watching people saying that person hit that machine. So they say, oh, it's hitting. So that's why they don't show up real quick. They wait. So next week, it's going to be actually a tape show. It's a show on horse racing. So if you're interested in horse racing, that show's next week, but it's going to be a tape show. So I'm going to say goodbye here from Las Vegas, Go Live Vegas Studios, and I'm Full Tilt Vegas. So go make some money.